being honest. Nothing but the truth, yeah. Nothing but the truth, yeah. Honesty, CJ, honesty. CJ, honesty. CJ, honesty. CJ, honesty. Just being honest. Nothing but the truth.
Welcome to another episode of
CJ Honesty.
And today we are actually collaborating. This is a joint effort on today with our fellow podcaster, Jamie McKenzie. He has a podcast by the name of Church X Leaders Podcast. And he focuses on a whole lot of things about the church and the leadership of the church. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about the different aspects and the opinions of music. And we're going to be talking about church leadership on today. Jamie.
Hey.
Thank you for doing this with us.
Hey, I'm glad to be a part of it. Joining the CJ Honesty family. So, very glad.
Definitely.
Yes.
So let's start it right. Let's start this thing right off, man. Right off.
Well, let's give.
Let's tell them
more
a little
info
bit more about Jamie, though. So Jamie actually is a part of an organization called Blue Organ Spaceflight, where he actually had his musical content was actually sent to space. And
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool right there.
Yeah, that is cool. Never heard anyone doing that.
Yes.
Or had the opportunity to.
So what was they like listening to your content in space? What was that?
So I was selected just this past year to have my content flown into space. So that was a wide range of things. So there's a picture of me and the actual content itself. So it was actually really cool. Just getting to see that and watching the actual flight on TV. Oh my gosh, like it was phenomenal. So it was up there for quite a bit of time, and yeah, I enjoyed it.
Wow,
nice. And who you repping?
Who am I repping?
Yes.
In terms of the company, this company called OWC.
Okay.
OWC. So OWC computers, they make a whole bunch of Mac products. I love them greatly. So, yeah, I got to thank them for it.
Wow.
And you're also from Toronto, Canada.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Toronto, Canada. How is it?
I've been there once. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Cool. I want to move there now. I would go to Canada. I would live there.
Hey, I got. There's a lot of good things. We got the CN Tower, we got French fries, and we got the biggest go-kart track in Canada. So
I didn't go to
wow.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys not dealing with what we got to deal with down here.
Hey, we still got a prime minister that loves our country greatly. So I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, we're all in the same boat together. So
I hear you. So how are we gonna start this off? We talking about church leadership first?
So I'm gonna I want to ask you. We're gonna talk about pastors. We're gonna get into question about pastors. And so a lot of people have heard or know about T.D. Jakes and like people like Joel Osteen. So when it comes to pastors, sometimes people assume, especially those who are non-believers, that they get rich or wealthy by the money
tithes
they get from the church. So should pastors show their wealth through materialistic things? What do you think about that?
I think that pastors should be humble in the fact that yes, you have multiple streams of income. Yes, you have book deals. Yes, you have a podcast. Yes, you have TV. Yes, you have all these things. But really and truly, you don't need to be flaunting your wares. I mean, I was on Instagram the other day and I watched, they have this thing called church kicks. So they literally take a picture of every pastor's sneaker that they wore and how much did that sneaker cost. So from a Nike Air Max all the way down to, I mean, some Valencia shoes. I mean,
Oh wow.
so I mean, it all comes down to this. Like, if just be humble in your approach. I honestly, just be humble in your approach. You don't need to flaunt your wealth, because we all know that yes, you are getting paid to serve the gospel. Yes, you are getting paid from other sources of income, but you don't really need to flaunt your wealth, especially when it's not a true representation of the congregation at large.
And I agree, because especially during this time, during the pandemic, a lot of people are losing their jobs, and I think is very cocky, or is not being considerate of other people's feelings. What in their situation, if you're always like, oh well, I got a Louis Vuitton bag or whatever, or another like new car, like people are going through stuff, like why put it out there, just because you just feel like, and you just care about what you show. Like I think especially now, I don't think is the right move for pastors to do all that, because they're in that position. People watch them, they have like an eagle eye.
Absolutely. You're as a leader, you're the front line. So everyone watches your move, whether you have a fall from grace, whether you make a lot of money, whether you are, just starting out. Everyone watches your move, and they're looking to you to lead them to the future. The worst thing you could do as a leader is show off your wealth and then not lead people to the future. Like, it makes no sense, because that means you're just in it for the monetary gain. You're making $100,000 a year, or $50,000, or $25,000 a year, or you're in it just for the kicks that you can wear, or the nice suits that are so extravagant that cost $1,000. Or so, I mean, really and truly, I think that's the most important thing.
Let's come at it from a different perspective. So let's say, so a lot of people don't know that TD Jakes actually at one point was living on the street and came from a poor neighborhood and everything.
Yeah.
So with him, with God per se bringing him to where he was to where he is now, which is a very, very, very dramatic difference. Should he be definitely, I think he should be proud of, where how far God has brought him. But like you said, with knowing that information, even knowing that, should he still flaunt what he has? I think as a people, we have to also look at oftentimes we think that, I want to be here in my life, and then we see somebody like TD Jakes and they say, well, TD Jakes is just some robbing or whatever you want to call him, and it's like, okay, well, you're speaking bad about somebody where you want to be at where he is in his life, but you're speaking ill of him. That's the other part of that. And then the other part is that he gives to a lot of jails and prisons. He speaks to a lot of those men that are in there. The whole "woman, thou art loose."
Oh yeah,
And
wasn't that a movie he did too?
yeah, I think it was a movie as well. And I think he gives to a lot of the community
and charities too.
I think
he's very giving person.
Yeah, if that's the other part of that. And then like with Brian Karn, I believe, he has in his church, he literally has members who he put like, I believe, 3+ blocks of houses down.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and put people in houses. So it's like, okay, we're mad at the preachers when we see that they have money, but when they're doing stuff like that, can we really be mad at them?
Oh, good question.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Even for the unbelievers, I would say, there's church people too that say, don't preach the prosperity, but okay, the Bible tells us to give to the poor, does it not?
Yep.
So
blessed are the poor.
Yeah. Say that again, Jamie.
Blessed are the poor.
Yeah. So blessed are the poor. So, unto me you've done the least. That's what Jesus said.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't feed me. You didn't clothe me. Naked I wasn't, you didn't clothe me. So basically saying, because he is those people in that sense to your
Yep.
brother and everything. So okay, if I have to feed the poor, why is it that if I get into a position to where TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar, Benny Hinn, Brian Carn, Joel Osteen, if I get into those financial situations, why is it that I'm not allowed to be in those situations? I'm looked at as this evil preacher that just wants all the money,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm supposed to get, but at the same time, you want me to give to the poor. It doesn't make sense. So you don't want me to be rich, but at the same time, you want me to give everybody things. Which one is it?
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question.
That's a
That's
big
Wow.
question.
yes,
That's
that's
a
a
loaded question, John. What?
That's like ding 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 ding. That's like right on the nose. Well,
Yeah.
here's what I would say. Okay, it shouldn't matter. Like, if you look at it, like, yes, you provide housing. A lot of the giving that a lot of these pastors have, they don't publicize it. Unfortunately, they don't publicize it because a lot of the stuff, because it's stigma, right? It's just like you saying. It's just like you saying that, like, if I give, everyone should notice that I give. Well, your giving is in secret. A lot of the stuff, like, if you said, hey, a church needs testing, or a church is, having beds inside their actual facility to feed people. You know what? A lot of that stuff doesn't have to be public, but as long as the membership and the congregation and the unbeliever or the unchurched or the de-churched can see that, then it's not a bad thing, right? As long as you show transparency about what the funds are being used for, where it's going, how it's being used, people will continue to give and support. That's the thing we don't understand about when it comes to church. That's what I'm trying to process this, because it's like, if you don't understand where the funds are going, it's not always to the pastor. There's expenses, there's overhead, there's lights, there's you got to take care of the musicians, you got to take care of the admin staff, you got to take care of your itinerant preachers who come in, and your guest preachers, and everybody else, and then you're giving onto causes and all that. As long as you demonstrate where it's going, how it's going, why it's going, people are more likely to be a part of that mission and not judge you because you're using the funds to help people, and you're still able to show off the wealth that you have.
That the key word that he said was transparency.
Yeah,
that's what I always say.
The churches from here on out, especially now that we have I think this is one of the reasons. I won't get too deep into that, but I think this is one of the reasons why we're in the virus now, is because God needed us to church and everybody pretty much to sit down for a minute and rethink how we're doing things. I think we got caught up into doing things the way we wanted to do it and not really doing it the way God wanted us to do it.
Exactly.
So I'm saying that to say this is that I really think that it's okay to be financially in that spot, in that bracket. But like you said, Jamie, I think you should be transparent with your people and say, this is what this money, your tithes, is going to. We're paying this light bill. This is what the light bill. Now, this might sound too much to some pastors out there, but in order to get people's trust back, you have to give. You have to give something. You have to give them something to trust. You might think it's none of their business, but honestly, it kind of is, because they're the ones that's giving the money. So I would say to all the pastors, the bishops, and the apostles out there that got churches, I would say literally have a list, especially maybe not so much to the members, but at least to the leaders. Have a session with them to where you're like, this is what these tires are going to. This is what the bill is for the electricity bill, the gas bill. This is what we're giving out for food. This is what we're spending on this and that. We got to play every 2 months that we do. We got Christmas plays and stuff like that. This goes to the musicians, that, everywhere, everything. They should be able to see that, and they'll be more prone to give. And I think even you should. Some people might disagree, but I think even with the members, as long as they're a member of the church, not just some random person, the members should be able to know where the money is going, because then they'll feel okay, this pastor is being honest with me and being transparent with me. Maybe this is something that I wouldn't mind pouring my money into, or per se the ground that you sow your seed into.
They'll feel more like a part of it, of the process, or
and that
like
way
be in the know, they'll be in the know of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If companies can do it, if companies produce an annual report, why can't the church?
Good question.
That's just the honest truth. But if you really think about it, at the end of the year, every company seems to say, "Here's our annual report. Here's what we do." And I know that yes, there are churches that have the board meeting. I'm not disputing that, right? I'm not disputing that. But what I'm saying is this, okay? If you know that, like, even right now, okay, even now, most churches had to pivot because they were never live streaming in the first place. Okay. Because of that, they had to raise funds to get camera, to get a mixing board, to get, somebody to run who's media, or train a volunteer to run those cameras, or learn how to invest in the technology and
learn how to use it and all that. Different programs.
Like most people didn't know how to even what Zoom was before Zoom even came hot on the scene. Like, and then now they're realizing, like, Zoom is not going anywhere. It's $1 billion company, it ain't going anywhere. But at the same time, you have to raise all the funds because you couldn't pay the bills. But now you're calling for people saying we need X amount of dollars to increase our live stream capability so we can reach more people, that we can give more, and that's an effort of transparency, right? And every church has to scramble on their feet and pivot and adjust, because here's my thing. Crisis brings acceleration, okay? And if you can't accelerate in the middle of a crisis, then you are not a leader that can lead in the future.
That's a strong one right there. That's very strong. That was a really strong statement. Wow.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah. That was it. You hit it on the nail, Jamie. For real. With that.
It's a crazy thing. I think a lot of people, especially backsliders, people that have been hurt by the church, they see pastors, you tithe, and then you see pastor pull up with a Bentley, but the nothing has changed about the church. I don't think they would be upset seeing the pastor pull up with a Bentley if they saw the lights was changed in the church, if they saw some painting the walls was different, the parking lot had more space, there's more space to park outside, a fence was put up at the church. I don't think that's where the disconnect comes in. I think that's why so many people feel like they have been betrayed or hurt or walked away from the church, because a lot of people are like, oh, I can get Jesus on my own, I can be in his presence on my own, which is true to a degree. You can get the presence on your own, but there does come something with fellowshipping with other believers, because there's going to come times where you, even as a believer, you fall down, you make mistakes, start doubting, you get into depression, anything like that.
And also it's for support as well, to support our fellow Christian friends and anyone really in the community in general. So
I agree with you 100%. And this is, and you said it right on point, where you said, the community rallies around you. In other words, I say this: community brings connection, and connection brings community. That's the way I look at it. Because if we can't connect as a people, as a society, as a body, then it makes no sense in terms of where we're going and how we're going and why we're going, right? The reason why we have so many problems and the reason why we have so many issues is because there's a mismanagement of expectations. And when there's a mismanagement of expectations, that's why problems ensue. That's why we're seeing pastors get into scandals. That's why we're seeing, financial mismanagement. That's why we're seeing people walk away. We're seeing young people ask, why are you leaving the church? It's because the church hurt, or if you want to coin that term, church hurt, or other things. That's why I say
lack of leadership.
Yeah, and the leadership too, right? So everything starts from the top, as we've always heard in the corporate world, but at the same time, community around the leadership, around the board of directors, around the musicians, around the worship team, around the actual congregation itself brings connection. That's why we're seeing so many people that are older than us not feel they everyone said it like, hey, we went to worship in a virtual. It was great. It was phenomenal. Like when we were back in March, it was great. And then now we're in January of 2021, and it's like I'm tired of seeing the screen. I kind of want to get out. I want to get out and be able to do that, and I can't do that because what we considered normal is now not normal. Because Christ has brought acceleration. Christ has brought loyalty issues. Christ has brought, using digital as kind of like it's the door. Hey, come watch my live stream. But really, it's not a means to an end, right? Come to my building and all that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. It all comes back to mismanagement of expectations.
The other thing with mismanaging of expectations is the other side is, I guess, some people say, I don't know, I have to really think about it, but some people say that we put the pastors at this point to where back in the day, I don't see people doing this now, but people used to actually go to hospitals and pray for people, or they used to go to people's houses and pray for them as well. I don't know what happened to everybody, not even just church people, but we used to be allowed, you used to be allowed in your next door neighbor house. Now,
you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, you can't go anywhere now. But,
Yep.
Especially with the churches, somebody said they were sick, sister so-and-so, brother so-and-so, mother so-and-so was going over there, giving you soup. What else do you need? Here's prayer with that, and along the way, we stopped doing that. And the only person that you want praying for you is pastor, So is it fair to say, oh, I only want pastor to pray for me? I only want pastor to come to my hospital. But what if pastor send one of the leaders to go pray for you? And you be like, no, I don't want the leaders to go pray. I want pastors to pray for me. And forgetting that pastor is still just a man, or a woman.
People put pastors and bishops on like a pedestal. That's what a lot of people do. They forget that they're people too. They're the same as us.
No, they're have drama. They have to do what they need to do. But at the same time, just like Jesus, you have a spiritual side. Then you have also have the humanity side. So when you don't give that, just like when celebrities, say, for instance, oh, before you take this picture with me, let me sit down. I'm eating with my family right now, and I'll take a picture with you. It's kind of like the same thing with pastors. Like, you see your pastor out with their family. Like you went up to pastor and you talk to him, or try to talk to him for 20 minutes about a scripture or something like that, and he's out with the family or whatever like that. So it's like, we hold our pastors on another, almost like they celebrities in some cases. So can we really be surprised that some of these pastors have a celebrity demeanor about them when that's how we've been?
That's how we treat.
That's how we treat them.
Treating them
like we put them on the pedestal like celebrities.
Not just pastors. If you really think about it, it's not just a pastor complex. This complex happens to musicians. It happens to the worship team. It's so bad. It's not even funny. Like, if you're a musician, if you're well known, like I mean, you're a well known musician in the church, you're a celebrity because you can pretty much get away with anything that you want. I know it doesn't happen everywhere, so that's why I'm saying disclaimer: it does not happen everywhere. Okay, but we put that pedestal on musicians. We put that pedestal on the person that's leading. We put that pedestal on so many different areas, and we tend to forget that there is a humanity side of it. It's not all about you, because we've come to the point where now everything has to come to us. Instant soup, instant coffee, being at home in 2021, school is at home, work is at home, church is at home, entertainment is at home, fitness is at home. And it's become a central hub for all of us. And it's having that come to us model, and then when it should be, we have to go to where people are and understand that. But that's what I'm saying, like, we need to stop putting people on pedestals, no matter how much, because that comes with the abuse of power, which is a problem.
Wow. It's something else that I kind of want to talk about that we didn't really have on our list for today. I gotta break it down because
we giving them too much gems today.
Yeah.
Break it down, John.
With our fellow Black people, you hear something called, this is another, not just a money thing, is a reason why some of our fellow Black people have stopped going to church. But this saying right here, the white man's Bible.
Oh, I mentioned this last episode.
Oh,
the white man's Bible.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you look at the Bible, if you read the Bible, you will see many people are from the Africa area.
Yes.
But you don't know that because you just trust everything that you see on Facebook, the Black Power people telling you it's the white man's Bible. Just I'll say this, just because somebody misuses something doesn't mean that it's wrong. Those slave masters, when they was like, oh, this says right here that servants obey your masters.
Yeah.
And it's not in the context of what that they think that is. And that's where a lot of some of the Black people get off on, that is they're saying, that Bible and stuff like that is not, I'm not believing in no man in the sky. I'd rather believe, but here they are, they'll say, I'll believe in the universe. I believe in my
greater power.
Yeah. A greater power. I believe in my horoscope. I believe in my positive energy. What do you think all of that comes from?
Oh, you tapped into something that
I don't even want to. I so don't want to, because here's that's another topic for another day. But I'm gonna say this
just a little bit.
This saying that we hear. What was it? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. We've heard that saying for so many years. Many years. Oh, one day, we're gonna be on top, and that's not really what it means. And we hear that, like, oh, one day Black America, Black Canada's gonna be on top, and it's not the case at all. Like, we've been misquoting and misusing this thing for years and not understanding. And even to take it a step further, what's worse now is that even for our Black people, unfortunately, we leave in Black pastors and go into multi-ethnic churches to serve under white people, white pastors. No offense, but that's kind of scary. Like, I don't know. It's just the way that the world's changing now. It's scary. But
it is. So we're gonna move on to the next question. Did we already?
Yeah, we did.
We did. So the next one is, when it comes to music, the musicians, should a musician be a member of the church in order to play the music in the church?
Oh, that's a tough question, because there's so many schools.
No, not be a member. Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preferably if you're a guest musician and you don't go, then that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to church, like, cause we see it all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're there and you've been there and you have some sort of tenure and you're active, then yeah, you should be.
Mm-hmm.
You should be, because there's a sense of like, holiness to it, right? But I've seen people that don't even go to the church, and yet they're still playing because it could be the check, it could be they could provide some sort of value, it could be. So I mean, it could go both ways, but generally most times it should be, but unfortunately it's not.
I think it's good for short term. Short term is good because you got somebody that can play the music for you.
Yes.
You mean if they're not a member?
Yeah, if they're not a member.
Okay.
Long term, if they are not a member, I think it's poison. And I think that if you are setting yourself up for failure if you do that.
Okay.
Because what's gonna happen is it's gonna be all about the money. And the moment they don't get what they want, the moment that something bad happens, or if something with the finances is not the way that they want to see it go, it's not going to be good. And the moment somebody else can pay them more,
them out the door.
If you got a storefront church and then you get, I don't know, you get some big time person like Jamal Bryant, he call you up and say, I want you to come play for me. They're gonna be gone.
Exactly.
They're not committed to anything. They have no commitment to it. They have nothing tying them to that place. As far as the anointing, sometimes it doesn't even matter how much anointing or the presence of God you have. People don't care. They do not care. That money will talk to them if they're not a member. So I think short term is good if you're just trying to get things started with your church, or you just need music to be played.
You need a push.
But long term, I don't think. I think you're setting yourself up for failure. I think.
And then not only that, it touches into the other issue now. Okay, you're getting a check. You're getting $50 a week from a storefront church.
Yeah.
Should you be paying tithes? That's the other question that comes.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
That comes into play too, right? Should you be paying tithes? Should you be giving back a portion? Now, me, if I were in that situation, you give back to the house that blessed you. That's my thing. Give back to the house that blessed you. Okay? Because they didn't have to. There's a lot of musicians that are working for free. There's a lot of worship leaders that are working for free. Not because the fact that the church can't pay them. They're doing it because either A, the church doesn't have the resources, B, they're committed to the vision, C, they just like the fact that they're just able to give. Now with the situation's changed, loyalties have changed. With everything that's going on, loyalties have changed. Your loyalties have shifted. Now it's like, okay, I'm unemployed. How am I going to make money? Is it really worth for me to leave my house now to go get $50? Is it really worth leaving my house to go get a check that's paying me, and there's nobody to see me other than the camera? Like, now that's the other question.
Right.
So, should musicians pay tithes, or I guess
they should?
What if they're not a member, so they shouldn't?
Even if you're not a member, you should pay tithes. The government still takes its piece when you're a contractor. So why would God not take his piece?
Even though they're not a member, you're saying they still should put something.
I think Jamie's talking about. Are you talking about when?
If a musician is not.
No. I think Jamie's talking about in the Bible when he's talking about the 10% that you get a God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking about if you're not a member of that church, do you still give the tithes?
Well, I think Jamie. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, but I think Jamie's saying that it doesn't matter if you're a member there or not. You should have somewhere where you're giving.
At least that.
Okay.
At least that, right?
So they should have a church home.
You should. You should. And then that's what I'm saying. Like, of course, like if they give me an honorarium, I'm not expecting you to pay that. I'm not expecting you to do that, right? Because the Bible says make your calling like sure, make everything the issues of the issues of the heart, right? So you gotta know like how you're gonna make it right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I truly believe that every musician should be paying tithes. Absolutely. If you're working, you have a job, pay your tithes. That's a fact. That's not even a question. If you're working and the government's giving you something, or you get some sort of funds, income somewhere, pay your tithes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's the least that God, that's like the bare minimum that God could ask of you, right?
Yeah.
To say, you know what, thank you, God, for doing everything. Here's my little portion. It may not be much, and I may not have much, and I may not have food on the table for next week, but I know that you still provide. And it's not even if you wanted something from God. It's just to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think with the tithes, now unbelievers might not make, even the Bible says certain stuff not going to make sense to unbelievers. So I'm not expecting if there's any unbelievers listening to this part to understand. I'm more so with this part talking to the church people who go to church.
Yeah.
When it comes to paying your tithes, that's not supposed to be about the pastor anyway.
True.
You're not supposed to be getting into the conversation about should I be giving. That's not between you and that pastor anyway. That's between you and God with your finances. You giving your 10% is just telling God that you're just grateful to even have income coming in.
Yeah.
You know? And now if you want to get technical about the pastor, should you be giving to him, you can be like, is this the right place I should be putting my seed into? Because there is different ground and stuff, that per se, spiritually, that where your seed won't necessarily grow, won't prosper like that.
Yeah.
You won't get anything back in your life if you're pouring into somebody who per se is not a right person to be pouring into. So that's why it's also important to pray about where you're supposed to be at anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So do you think? So you mentioned about how some musicians play for free, but do you think musicians should get paid for their craft?
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
LeBron gets paid $50 million for his craft, okay? Not everyone can do what LeBron does, okay? If LeBron gets paid $50 million for his craft, there's a reason why he gets paid $50 million for his craft, okay?
Yeah.
I'll use another example. You pay a plumber to come and do a job. Why would you not pay the musician? It's a specialized skill. An usher cannot do what a musician does.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Never thought about it.
It's a specialized skill. An usher can't do what a musician does. You know how many hours it takes to learn your instrument, to learn the keys, to learn the frets on a bass guitar, to learn, how to hold the drumsticks the right way, how to train your voice appropriately, what not to do when you're about to sing, what to do when you need to sing, how to lead a team, how to lead a choir, how to teach parts, how to deal with the technical team that drives you insane every week and doesn't get the slides on time in church. Like, it takes a lot. That's why I say not everyone can do what a musician does. There are some that are super skilled and have reached like ultimate stardom, and then there's others that are just, I'm just here at the storefront and I've been able to do it. I'll give you an example. So there are people here, I'm in Canada, and there are people that came from other countries, came here, started church, and all they could do was play piano, and then they ended up being a pastor, right? They started, and then they ended up building the skills for somebody else to take over so they could focus on what they're called to do, right? If a plumber can take the same approach, then why can't musicians? Why can't pastors? Why can't specialized workers, right? It's like you studying in school. You put all these hours in, you're paying somebody to do it. The reason why you're paying them is because they have to get insurance. They have to learn their craft. They have to deal with people's emotions. They have to transport their gear. They have to, take down their gear. They have to come play for choir days and special conventions and Valentine's dinners and all these different things. So that's what I'm saying. It's very specialized. Not everybody can do what a musician does. Everyone thinks it's just playing piano or playing bass or playing drums or singing or playing organ or playing a tambourine or whatever, or playing the washboard. But it's more than that.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So I agree. Do you agree, John? Because you play the drums, right?
Yeah, a little bit, and then I sung.
Yeah, you
so I definitely get that. Now I started off. I've never been in a situation where I've gotten paid. But I definitely can see why people would want to get paid. So, I definitely can see that. I personally, I was like, I felt like I was doing it for God, so that's how I started. You know, I just had a feeling like I'm just doing it for God. But on the other hand, I definitely can see why somebody be like, okay, I'm doing it for God, and it would be nice if I could get paid because, excuse me, it would be nice if I could get paid because I'm spending my time learning these things, or I might already be a professional at what I do, and I spent time becoming that professional, or I spend time, the church might be an hour away, or sometimes pastor might ask me to go back him up over at this church, and I got to drive over there, in those cases, I can definitely see why you would want to, get paid.
Well, and also it could be somebody's only job as a musician. They could make money just that can only be their job.
Yeah.
So
think of it this way: if church were the NBA draft pick, who would you want to pay for to get the best talent, to get the best out of it? If we're supposed to give God our best, not just the people. Right? Could you imagine if church was like an NBA lottery draft pick? Life would be completely different because you'd want to pay to get the best.
Yeah.
Why would we want to expect anything less? And that's just the human side of it. Now, if we go the God side of it, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know people don't want to pay musicians and stuff, and singers and praise dancers because I praise dance a good amount of years.
Yeah, I think back in the day though, everybody had the mindset where I'm just serving just for the Lord. But as life went on, so that the finances started going up and up and up. So the cost of living is going up now. So now it's like, it costs gas money for me to do this. It costs money for me to pay for this keyboard if the keyboard's not already there. It costs money for me to get my what is it when the dancers that they have their some of them have
the flags.
Yeah,
the flags and stuff like that.
The garments.
The garments and all that stuff like that. If you're cooking, it costs money to buy that food. If you're the cook there, if you're picking up church members, it costs. It costs money to go
personal shuttle bus thing.
Shuttle bus. All this stuff costs gas. Costs money rather. So it was a good thing back in the day that everybody could have a mindset where we're doing this for the Lord. But as things came to be where they are now in the world that we live in, it's harder for people to come with that mindset because they're struggling at home to pay their bills.
Yep, exactly.
That's it. And that's what I'm saying. Like the mindset now is this, and especially now, like look how many musicians are out of work right now. Like there are no tours, there are no concerts, there's no football Super Bowl halftime show, there's no none of that now. Like it's now either streaming or nothing. For now.
For now.
But like at the same time, we have to realize that, like, yes, the church finances are going to be low. Giving might drop 20%, and you might not see 20% of the people come back in 2022 or 2023 or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you still need musicians. You still need a technical director. You still need a pastor. You still need. So there is still a need in the community. So why would you stop now and say that we can't take care of a musician? We can only take care of the pastor. I guarantee, probably, I don't know. Maybe Bishop Jakes is still getting a salary. Maybe his musicians are getting a salary. Maybe everybody that you see here that's on live stream, they're still getting a salary. Right? So
yeah. From what I hear, I heard that specifically, I don't know about Creflo Dollar and what's the other lady name?
Paula White?
No, not. Oh yeah, Paula White too. But what is her name? Joyce Meyer.
Yeah, Joyce Meyer.
I don't know if they're on. What did you call it, Jamie? If they're on the
on salary?
Yeah, salary. I don't know if they're on salary from the church, like taking money from the church. But I know T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen, they don't take money from the church. I think their money is coming from the books that they wrote, the movies that they've produced, and then they go speak other places that they get where they get their money from. And I think the same thing with what's his name? Brian Carn as well. I think
he still gets a he has to. I mean, you have a 3-night convention online, and I mean you gotta be able to take care of people, man.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So look, this is my question. This is going to lead up to our last little topic that we're going to be talking about, which is the spirituality of music. You know, does it affect people? Does music affect people mentally or spiritually? But into that, I kind of want to ask this: like, should musicians should they be playing for if they're not a member of the church, but more so if they are a member of the church, should they be playing for the church, but also on other days, like on a Saturday, be playing for people like maybe Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Or, that's a good question.
You know, other people like that.
So
the atmosphere, I mean, like,
how about playing for Kanye West? Singing for Kanye West. Can you remember he came out with that Jesus?
Well, I mean, that's kind of you still talking about Jesus, though, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you just straight up from one night, Saturday, you playing or you're singing for somebody like a Beyonce or Jay-Z, and then everybody's smoking, everybody's drinking, and then the next morning you wake up and you go play for or sing for the church. You know, should that be okay, or what do you think?
Here's my thoughts. If that is your livelihood, like, okay, so let me ask you this: what's the difference between you playing for Beyonce and you playing at a jazz club? There's no music, there's no words, and you're playing at a jazz club with the same environment, but there's no music. It's just you, music, and people. There's no words. There's no nothing being said. It's just the environment, right? But then the question comes, okay, yeah. Everyone say, "Oh, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's perfectly fine." But then they say, "Hey, you're playing for Beyonce. You're playing for the Super Bowl halftime show, or you're playing for some famous person, or it's a problem." But if that's your livelihood, if that's how you get paid, and that's how you make your money, more power to you.
Well, I think it's a morality thing, or it comes down to like what, like if you
how comfortable you are.
how comfortable you are. And also in the Bible it does say we have to separate ourselves from the world. That's not really separating yourself from the world. You still
come out from amongst them.
Lukewarm. A lot of people are lukewarm.
Yeah.
Or you can't mix new wineskin with old wineskin.
Exactly.
Right?
So
new wine with old wine.
One or the other. Which one you want to do more?
Exactly.
There's actually a lot of singers who do that. They start in the church. Jamie Foxx started in the church.
There's
lots.
We can
I've
go down a
never
list.
heard of a secular singer that has not started.
Even Beyonce started in the church because she used to have like songs about God and stuff. Well, yeah, about Jesus. Like back when she started, she had a couple of songs that were like
from the church, and then of course Michelle that was in.
Michelle, she's still in. Like
she goes back and forth. Yeah, she goes back and forth with it.
But I don't know. That's a good question though. I mean, it comes down. I think it's between them and God.
Them and God, yeah. We can't. I don't think anybody can answer that question because that's just like saying Monday to Friday, I work at a job, and all they do is cuss and swear all day long, and then Sunday I come to church. Yeah, I'm in the environment. I can't do anything about it. It's a job. It's a job. I'm in the environment. But that is front of my mind. So I'm like, where's the line? Where's the line in terms of that? Like,
oh, you mean like okay, so am I gonna stop working because they cussing at work?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Am I giving that up? Like, am I giving that up?
Man, that's hard. Yeah. Well, it is hard. It's like teaching in a way. Are you okay with teaching about some of the history when it's not factual? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like you still need to make money though.
Yeah, when they say Benjamin Franklin
or about Columbus. Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
We know the truth about Christopher Columbus, but we teachers, we gotta still teach that.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
Oh no, I think it has to. I think those two things has to do with the person personally. It as long as it doesn't start to affect your
walk
with God, and if your pastor who is the head of you is okay with you, if they think that that you can do that without it affecting the whole you or the whole church as a whole, then that's between you, your pastor, and God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I personally would not do that because I wouldn't want my mind over here with these people, and then I got to wake up Sunday morning and sing or play the gospel. I couldn't do that. I couldn't talk about or play along with "Girl Shake Your Booty," and then I gotta wake up and say, "Girl Shake Your Booty," or "I want to sex you up and down," and then I have to wake up and say, "Holy, holy, holy."
Oh gosh!
That's true,
the thing. That's for my musicians out there. Okay, it's a job, but can you really take yourself from you? Just last night, you was in the atmosphere of the girl. Let me lick you up and down. Now you gotta go over here and usher people into the presence of God. So that's the thing.
Probably musicians like that.
Them church mothers would be furious. Like, I am very disappointed in you.
Or you might mess around and slip up at church and sing something or play something.
Please start playing that beat from the song.
Oh, but we hear this all the time. No. Now we getting the good stuff. Now we getting the good stuff here. Okay, you slip up. Look at all this. Oh my gosh. Look at some of these church songs that we're singing now.
Yes.
Look at how they're based off of other songs that have already come out.
Or secular. Yeah. I've heard.
Like, if you actually listen, if you could match up, like, it's just the way that they phrase it, but it's the same chords. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same style, but it just has the word Jesus in it. Or it has. and it's so hilarious because it's only in the black church. It's not, you don't hear that when it comes to like a Hillsong, because Hillsong's only 4 chords.
Yeah.
Right? You don't hear that in a Hillsong all the time. You might hear that in like the gospel scene because it's so prevalent, because a lot of the music that we hear is all taken from the gospel scene, right? And that's why the gospel genre is so big. It should be even bigger than this, but it's so big because everybody samples off of it.
Yeah, like Kirk Franklin, he does that. But you know why he does that? Most of them, like Ty Tribbett, all of them, they do that so they can attract the youth.
Yeah, they said it helps them pulling the youth.
Yeah. So
well, the youth are leaving the church in droves, man. It's actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's blurry lines, man. Especially if you're just starting out, if you're like a beginner, like just became a Christian, it's like it's kind of, it can get confusing.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
Yeah, because it's blurred lines. We have to have boundaries or something. I feel like we crossed.
But that's the thing. I think that's the problem where the church is now. We went from one extreme to the other extreme. So we went from one extreme where we was telling people you couldn't wear red lipstick, a red dress, or you couldn't,
or tight clothing.
Tight clothing.
Yeah.
Or short, like
a
you short shorts.
Yeah.
No.
You couldn't do this or that. And then now you have the church where you can pretty much do anything you want to, or dress however you want to.
Yeah.
And no one can say.
Well, they say come as you are.
Yeah, come as you are.
Come as you are.
You are come as you are, but not stay as you are.
You are.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing, okay? So now let's take that even a step further. You have biker church. You have hip hop church. Because there is a church that just focuses and just plays bare hip hop. Their praise and worship is a DJ.
No.
Oh, I've never been to a church like that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a church like that. You have beach church. You have all these different environments of church, but yet they still fit to somebody. So as long as, my thing is this, as long as the message does not get lost in translation, because the gospel doesn't change. We all can agree on that.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as the principles and the essentials are being taught, you know, that's where my biggest thing is.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. As long, I don't care if it's you rapping, you got jeans on.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody might have tattoos. I don't know none of that. Your hair, you got color in your hair. You got, you got 3 earrings in your ear. You got gym shoes on. None of that matters. What matters is that where's your heart at?
Exactly. What's the heart condition?
Yeah, where's your heart condition? If there is something that you can change in your character, are you willing to change? Are you gonna let God mold you? Like I had already said before, I believe personally that you should let anybody come in as they are. Come in as you are.
Yep.
The only problem that I think the youth now is teaching, like people that's our age, is that they letting them come in as they are, but they not teaching them how to change. That's where the problem is coming in. And
I agree with that.
Yeah. And back in the day, they hit the other extreme of that was that you got somebody in there and immediately you would try to change them and tell them, or you would rebuke them and tell them, you got this on, you got that on, you look like a whoremonger, you in front of the whole church,
That's embarrassing.
You
can't. It is embarrassing.
That's what I mean when I say we went from one extreme to the other. We went from rebuking people in front of the whole church into now we doing stuff where ain't nothing wrong. You can do anything you want to. We got to find a balance.
Yes.
It has to be a balance. But I'm talking too much, Jamie. What you think?
No. I'm just listening to what you say.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Jamie, something
Sure.
though. The music, getting back to what we were saying before about how, like going back and forth to playing secular music and gospel or whatever, So I'm a little on the fence with that because, um, I feel like music is attached with things, right? So like if you're in it, if you're playing that music, then I feel like you're putting yourself in a position that I think is dangerous, and with for your like spiritually, I think it is. And then you just go back if you're going back and forth, right? So music, and I've listened to some artists who are Christian gospel artists who have used secular music in their songs, and they got criticized for it. So because music is attached to things like spirits. So Jamie, what do you think about that? Do you agree when Christian
When you
artists
say music, you're talking about the chords and stuff like
the
that.
beats?
Right?
Yeah.
So
So Jamie, do you agree with Christian artists or gospel artists who use the beats to use in their music?
I don't have anything wrong with the beats per se, because I'll give you an example. So I'm a keyboard player, right? So back in the day, there used to be a thing. They used to say there was a certain chord that we could play that was called the it was a bad chord, right? We couldn't play it. Like if we played it, we get rebuked. Like it was terrible. It was terrible. If I say the name of the chord, then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this is not a bad thing." Well, back in the day, it was a problem. Now you hear this thing in so much gospel music, it's not even funny. It's crazy. Now, my thing is this. Music is an extension of who you are as a person. Every chord you play tells a story of who you are, what you listen to, how you play, and what you're feeding into yourself. You adopt the styles of who you look into and who you want to be like.
Yeah.
Right? So my thing is this. As long as you know how to accept, and this is where I say, because I'm conflicted on this too, right?
Yeah.
Because you could listen to something, inject it into a gospel song tomorrow morning, and then everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And then you could inject it, and it'd be the wrong place at the wrong time. So I'm saying, like, when it comes to like the whole spirits and music thing, just be careful what you put into your body. That's what I'm saying. Like, be careful what you put in. Like, it's okay if you listen to like a little bit of like, and you're feeding off of creativity, and you want to inject because that's how songs are birthed. That's how music is birthed. That's how feelings are birthed. That's why when you can listen to a love song, you're bawling your eyes out.
Yeah.
Or a biker song, and you're banging your head like crazy. Right? So it's just a matter of what you put in is what you get out of it. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I can't even give you a definite, like, yo, don't listen to this song because this song is terrible. Like, you can't restrict people's creativity. It's just
That's true. The creativity part is true. But a lot of people don't believe that music is a spiritual thing.
it is.
They just think, oh, it's just music. It's just like rap and all that. But let me give y'all an example because I do my research. Okay, for example, I don't know if anybody heard about the new song by Tory Lanez. It's called, I don't even know how to say the word. SKAT featuring the baby.
SKAT.
Scat?
Scat.
I think scat. That's how you say it, right? So he just came out about a week ago. He just came out with the music video, and in the music video shows an exorcism, and so I don't know. I have to listen to the words, but just the music video was disturbing, first of all, and I'm like, what did I just watch? And that it's important. Like, why? I wonder why would like somebody listen to that? Just saying, I don't know. It was just disturbing.
Okay. Well, I social media has gone awry, right? So I think that why somebody would listen to that is because shock value, number one. Okay, you see, a couple black guys holding up the one, and and flipping through pages of the Bible, and then you have some person in a white dress with stuff all over their face, and they vomit out like it's like, you know what I mean? Shock value, number one. Number two, controversy. Okay, what breeds attention is controversy. Anything that's controversial always gets attention. So I see why he did it. It's a business move. Number three, anything that's hot and connected with the church. If the church was in the news, I think that like he actually took time to think that out. Like he actually sat down with creative producers and actually took time to think it out. And he said, okay, I wanna get new viewers. What's the one thing that creates controversy? The church.
The church, yeah.
The church, right? Church has always been the forefront. He could have done one of those ones where it's like a car, bunch of beautiful women, but that's been done 50 million times, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, number three, number four actually, he wanted to combine the classics with somebody else. So what I mean by that is, if anybody ever watched those scary movies back in the day, what that is like almost a scene from a movie. So there's an instant connection. There's an instant connection that I feel like I'm a part of this. I'm a part of what's going on. I'm a part of, this experience. Even though it's just a video, I'm a part of it. Like, oh my gosh, like I connected that. I remember watching scary movies like that. Like, come on, let me check this out. Let me see. This might be interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do definitely think that there's gotta be some sort of spirit thing behind that. Like that's without a shadow of a doubt. Like there's more than that, because you're gonna replay it 50 million times and not realize that there was a meaning behind why you chose what you chose.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Craig Lewis?
Yes, Craig Lewis. Yes. Truth about hip hop. Yes.
Yeah. So I seen a video of him where he had them reverse one of Jay-Z's songs.
Oh yeah, I heard about
that. Yeah.
Reverse it's saying "Murder Jesus."
Oh, really?
And I think that's one of the things where, and then Jay-Z, of course, he has this picture out of it said, I forgot what it says. It's something on the shirt. And then when you look up the words on the shirt, it has to do with Satanism.
Yeah.
What? Is this recent?
No,
this is old. This is
okay.
Old. This way back.
This is way back.
Oh, okay.
But like a lot of that stuff, yes. And that's what I said. A lot of these guys don't really think. They think that they're just signing to a label. It's more than that. Like it's more than you're signing your life away, and that's why everybody's like, oh yo, don't sign with the record label. Become independent. Be creative. Do your own thing. That's why you look at. I'll give you an example. Chance the Rapper. He didn't sign with no label. He literally got a Grammy without having to sign with nobody, and he runs his own little mini empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Right. Because
he doesn't for that. Yeah.
He doesn't want to have anybody control. Anybody say, I have to wear this in this video. I have to do this X amount of numbers to make money. I have to do this to do all of these cool things. I have to hit a certain, spot on the Billboard Top 100. I can just do it on my own and have my fans rally around me because I'm doing something that they're engaged, they're in part of, right?
Yeah.
So,
well,
now I see why my mom would say she wouldn't want me to listen to certain things when I was younger.
Yeah, it's easy, especially as church people, to think that other people that don't listen to secular music are just being religious.
Yeah,
but it's actually not religious, not because of religion, but for spiritual reasons. You shouldn't, if you're a believer, you really shouldn't be every day, but every day listening to it is probably not a good idea. Especially, I would say, if you're going to listen to secular music, at least watch who you're listening.
Exactly.
People that's obviously doing witchcraft and Satanism, like Lady Gaga and
Rihanna.
No, Rihanna. Why
Yeah,
would you wanna
take
if
part
you
in it.
yeah, why would you want to take if they put that in their video, then what's on their music,
Yeah.
and why when you feel sad instead of turning to God, you would rather turn on just think about that.
Yeah,
If I'm feeling
that's a
down,
good point.
something's telling me to listen to Rihanna rather than listen to gospel. Something's telling me to listen to Jay-Z rather than read my Bible. Like
Mm.
something in you as a believer should be like, okay, I should. Why do I get upset when people tell me I should be listening or reading my word, or listening to gospel, or reading my word? What? Why? I hear see a lot of people, believers. They really get up. You would expect that from somebody who's not a believer in God, because they just wouldn't understand it. But for
Yeah, but
believers to be like, "Oh, you're just being religious,"
are you being judgmental?
you're
Yeah.
being judgmental,
Yeah,
you know and they don't understand because of maybe the background of the church that they grew up in, that they're actually the religious ones. That's the funny part. They're telling the person that's sticking more so to being with, trying to have more so of a positive mindset. You talk about trying to have a positive mindset. If you're sad about somebody who just cheated on you,
Hmm.
why would you listen to Rihanna talking about somebody that cheated on her, or some other, Keisha Cole or Ashanti or
yeah,
whoever it is,
or
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 Janae, what's her name, Janae Akio, or however you say her name?
Yeah.
Why
yeah,
would you listen to somebody who's talking about f my ex, f him, I want to kill him, f love, it's
and
some,
then
no, yeah, go ahead.
no. You were no,
I was
you're
gonna say I heard a song just from getting in the car with one of my um companions like a year ago. The guy I got in the song, the guy was talking about he wanted to die.
Wait,
I don't
which
I
song?
can't
You
remember
forgot.
what the name of the he said he was literally saying he wanted to die. And I can't remember. I'm mad. I can't remember what the name of that song.
So it's some songs like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's multiple songs
Yeah.
like that. Though,
Uh,
so it's like, okay, if you're feeling sad, ask yourself, why is it that I feel more comfortable
Mhm.
turning on, the Janae Akios and the Rihannas and the Beyoncés,
mhm.
rather than turning on, Marvin Sapp, Fred Hammond,
never would have
or,
made it, and
you know, why, and what in your, why does it feel religious to you to do that? You know, I think you should really just
Mm.
realize that that's really the enemy telling you, like, oh no, don't do that. That's just being religious. Keep
Yeah,
listening
it's a
to the,
spiritual thing.
you
yep,
know,
it is.
that's that reverse psychiatry that he's doing on you.
Hmm.
And then for my unbelievers, even I hear unbelievers say that. Even that's the crazy part, that believers don't even understand. I hear unbelievers. I have conversations with them. They said, somebody I used to work with said, because I do security.
Yeah,
She said she was working in a warehouse, and she don't even really believe in God like that. But she was working in the warehouse all by herself, and she just felt like really eerie just being in the warehouse, because the warehouse was like it wasn't it was like an abandoned warehouse. So
Okay.
she just felt really eerie being in there. So she said she actually turned on gospel music and started to feel better. Now, if somebody that don't believe know to turn gospel on, why
yep.
can't you as a believer have the common sense to say, if I'm feeling down, you need
Uh,
to turn to God rather than turn to somebody that's talking about the exact thing that you going through? You
that's
know,
it. That's it. That's
Oh
it.
no, that's a good question, John. But we can see that it does affect people spiritually and
yeah.
It
mentally.
does. It
It does.
does. And now with the advent of everything that's going on right now, now
Mhm.
more than ever, look how many people are now turning to music to
Hmm.
heal their wounds.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like it's more so like, look, if Spotify
Yeah.
can have the best year of their life
Mm.
and YouTube can have the best year of their life,
Yeah.
what does that say for the music industry? That says that people are now turning to music to wallow away their sorrows and really help them cope in a world that's disappointing. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, music plays a super important role in the life of people that are church, people that are de-church, the unbelievers, people that don't believe, the atheists, the agnostics, the people that go to church. Like, and there's a whole spiritual side of it that people are not seeing and understanding. And it takes a little bit of discernment and a little bit of foresight into the future to realize that, like, either A, you're going to lead yourself across a bridge or lead yourself off a cliff. And what you consume and how you behave and how you react.
Yeah. And music wasn't never like this. The devil perverted music. He was over music when he was an angel. For sure, right? Yeah. So when he got kicked out, then he was like, okay, the devil like perverts everything.
Yeah, I think the Bible says that his body was literally made out of instruments, like the inside of it.
Yep.
And the thing about what believers don't understand is that even when it comes down to the devil, God is not a Indian giver. So he doesn't give sorrow without repentance, meaning that God doesn't take your gift away. So even if I'm a singer, right? I go like all these people, Tank, Beyonce, Jamie Foxx, they choose to use their gift in another way. God isn't going to take their voice away because that's their free will.
Yep.
And the same with the devil. He still has that same body, So if he still has the same body, that means he still has the same gift he has with that music.
With the music.
And I'm not even going. I'll let the person that's listening think about that.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, we just want to make people aware about the different music they listen to.
Yeah, even if you're a non-believer, you still should be wary of what you listen to, because mentally, even if you don't believe in God and being spiritual and things of that nature, mentally, you shouldn't be listening to everything.
I think I don't know if this would be good to do. What I was just thinking, maybe people should do an experiment and like listen to certain music and see how it makes them feel.
No, there's studies on that though.
Yeah, like just experiment, like just do it.
But they don't put no gospel in those studies, so.
Oh, you right about that, Jamie. They don't. Of course they wouldn't, Jamie. They wouldn't.
I seen a video on the news a while ago where they wired the person's brain up, and when it was a believer that came in, and they told her to start speaking in tongues, and there was literally a part in the brain that doesn't normally function. Started lighting up on the screen when she started speaking in tongues, and I thought that was, and I thought
cool.
I thought it was interesting because
really cool.
it is.
What?
Yeah, if I can find that video, I'll send it to you, Jamie.
John, you
and I'll let you see it.
Made me
too,
realize
Christine.
something.
Yeah. What's that?
That happened to me the other.
We went to a service. We went to a service. What was that? Last Saturday.
Yeah, we went. Yeah. And that. Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I have a question when it comes to music. Does it like? I remember talking or like hearing about how they put beats in music where it hypnotized people. Actually, I'm not sure if I'm using the words correctly. It's something in the music where it's like you want to keep listening to it.
Oh
yeah. No. So, you remember? Okay, I'll give an example. This is like way back. So for people that are watching, this is like super old. But I just want to use. There was a song way back in the day called Friday. That's all the song was. It was just the word Friday. That's what it was.
Friday? Like the day of the week, Friday? Oh, okay.
The day of the week. That's all it was. It was a number one hit way back in the day. And all it said was the word "It's Friday." That's literally all it was. And that it was just repeating over and over again. that song became a #1 hit only because of the hook. A lot of these songs that we hear is because the beat stays the same throughout the whole entire song. It's just the hook that really makes it pop and makes it interesting. That's why you can repeat a song 10 times, you'll never get bored. Right?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I said there's a lot of psychology behind it. That's what they say. It takes 21 days for someone to build a habit, right? So you listen to that same song for 21 days, that song is not going anywhere out of your repertoire.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. It's a skill. It's a very skill, and there's psychology behind it. From the chords you play to the hooks you sing to the words you say, there's a psychology behind music, and that's why heartbreak songs are beautiful. That's why everyone can remember way back in the day. Like if I'm in a heartbreak mood, I'm gonna put on some sad music. If I'm in a great mood, I'm gonna put on some good music. If I'm about to go and have a party, I'm about to put like some of the best rap music ever. I'm about to put Bruno Mars. I'm about to put Jay-Z. I'm about to put all these different types of music on it, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I think what it comes down to with the leaders and with music, the leaders with the musicians, I think everything has to do with responsibility, communication, responsibility, communication, being accountable,
Accountability.
accountability.
Yep.
Yeah, all of that. Being honest with each other.
Transparency.
Commitment too.
Yeah.
Commitment. Yes.
Commitment.
Well,
you know, you got to look at yourself. You know, self-evaluation. I think all of that comes into play when it comes to music and when it comes to leadership and the church and how the church can win people's heart back. You know, especially not just the unbelievers, but the church people who have been a part of the faith that has been away from, don't have a church anymore because they've been hurt. You know, so. But this has been a really good time, my friend Jamie. This is
man. It's been
good.
Yeah, so many nuggets are dropped, man.
So many. We got other stuff to talk about, man. We probably can go live one day.
Yeah.
You
know, we can even do another episode.
Yes,
you know.
definitely.
Do a part 2, man. I want to do a part 2.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2 then. We'll do a part 2.
Part 2. Let these guys come up and tell us what they want us to get at.
Yeah, definitely. So if you're looking at CJ Honesty's Instagram, Jamie, I don't know if you have anything that you want them to follow.
Just I encourage you. I mean, if you want to know tips and strategies on how to be a better leader in any marketplace, whether it be the church, whether it be in your music, whether it be in other areas of your life, I encourage you to just follow my podcast, Church X Leaders Podcast, where we don't just talk about church, we talk about everything that's in store, just to help better your lives.
And they can find your podcast on Spotify
Spotify, Tidal, Anchor.
Okay.
I'm on all the other platforms.
It's Church X Leaders.
On all listening platforms. That's Church X Leaders Podcast. Jamie McKenzie.
Yes.
And we are CJ Honesty. And we want to thank you. We want to say, doesn't matter who YouTube page you are on today, whether you are on Jamie's Church X Leaders or whether you are on CJ Honesty, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can and comment so you can be a part of the conversation. Please let us know what you guys think, whether you are unbeliever or a believer. If you have any questions, have any concerns or comments, or if you want to contact us, where are we at CJ Honesty? Where can they how can they get in touch with us?
Well, on Instagram, at CJ Honesty. CJ.Honesty is our Instagram. On YouTube, you search us at CJ Honesty Podcast, and you can also email us at cj.honesty9192@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie, how can somebody get in contact with you if they want to work with you?
If you guys want to contact me, honestly, follow my podcast. Send me a voice note. That's the best way to get in contact with me. Follow my podcast. Send me a voice note. I listen to every voice note that everybody sends, and I respond right back to you. Whether you want me to respond by email, text, it doesn't matter. I'm here because you guys are here. So that's the best way.
Definitely. So we want to thank you guys for supporting both of the channels. Keep looking out for more episodes. We are looking to have more episodes like this where we bring thought-provoking things, things that people don't normally talk about, that the world needs to talk about in the church and in the world, things that we need to address. We hope that this healed you in a way. We hope that this provoked your thoughts. We hope that this encouraged you to possibly get closer to God wherever you are with your walk in God. We hope that you would give our channels a chance by supporting us. Not just so we can just be monetized, but so that we can help others and spread the good news, and also spread just positivity to everybody and get people help.
Yeah.
So
that's what it's about.
This has been another episode of
CJ Honesty. Until next time.
Till next time.
Peace, everybody.
Peace, everybody.
Yes.
Just being honest, nothing but the truth.